All right, I'm back. All this time and nothing was playing. But anyway, what I was saying is that is their goal. That is their plan for us. I delete their other videos getting ready to be deleted. But all this time, that is their plan for us. They're not planning for our welfare. They're not planning for our benefit. With that LGBTQ and with all of these evil things that they're doing, trying to infiltrate everything, trying to infiltrate families. Look, if somebody infiltrate your family, if somebody infiltrate a household and take babies away from their parents, if somebody can infiltrate, fam, what are we waiting for? Who exactly are we waiting for to fix our situation? As we seen, this right here, this is not Yahweh's will for us. This is not Yahweh's counsel right here. I'm sorry, I came on here and wasn't nobody here, so wasn't nobody here to tell me that no audio was being played. But look, fam, nobody, this is not Yahweh's plan for us. This is like Sodom and Gomorrah, like I said. This is like Sodom and Gomorrah right here. Look at this right here. Jeremiah prophesied that Yasharal will be called Sodom and Gomorrah in the last day. In chapter 23, Jeremiah will prophesy the scattering of the sheep, and then he say, in the last day you shall consider this prophecy perfectly. So when the tree is ripe, that's the time when the fruit is yielding. That's the time when it's time for the harvest. This is the time right now that what we read, what I'm reading to y'all, what I'm showing y'all, this right here is for right now. This is not for a time off. This is for right now. The scattering of the flock. Yahushua is going to redeem his bride. He's getting ready to come back and save his people. And you got all these people, they got their own visions. They got their own counsels. In 2019, what was going on with our people? Look at this. In 2017, what was the NAACP people doing? And look who they made your president. So when in 2017, you had a president right there for a lot of us. A lot of us followed the NAACP in 2017. A lot of us we didn't know better, and we followed them in blindness. And we got blind guides. They got eyes to see, but they can't see. They got ears, but they can't hear. They blind, they can't see. So this is what we need to understand. A lot of their practices, they codified in laws. We see how it works. When they want something done, they codify it. They make it into a order. When they set up they dialogues, they set up they plans. So when people came in with that Essence Fest, when they came in with the Essence Fest, they set it in order and they made a plan for it, fam. And they came in and did it. This was their dream in 2017, while our people were getting slaughtered in the streets. How many people remember all the people that was getting slaughtered in 2017? This was their plan to put this into the act. And as we were studying our identity, this was what their plan was. They have eyes to see, and many people you could follow this one. They was teaching you this in schools and all this right here, transition and everything. This was they goals for you. Look, the commandments say you shall not, return to me, return to me. Y'all would say, return to me, oh backsliding people. But what was they doing? This is their plans for you. Look, y'all would say, I know the plans I have for you. But look at what they plans that they had for you. All right, they was getting ready to come for to supporting marriage. So what was this about? Because we been getting married since the foundation. Adam was given the Yiqwaba to marry. From the beginning of the earth, people were getting married. So what is this new kind of marriage that they was talking about with the NAACP? Instead of them helping our people with finances and stuff and getting them off the street, what it was they doing? Supporting this stuff right here. This stuff right here that they know is against our culture. They know, and they didn't care. They went right with it. They kept going with it. And this prophecy is about the last day, and these people was telling us to practice this stuff over here instead of practicing this. And many of us turned the page, closed our Bible, and picked up this and started doing this. They put it inside of the church house. People closed the Bible. And this is talking about the last day, fam. Do y'all know this talking about the last day? Let me read it before I get off here. And I didn't even know all that time that my microphone was muted and nobody could hear. So that other video is going to be deleted, and this is going to be left up for the people to come in afterwards. All right, because I guess other people that's live right now. But let me read this, and this is talking about the last day. And I'm finna read where it say the last day, you shall consider this prophecy well. And look at what they say. They say still unto them that despise me, that hate me, Yahweh said, you shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walk after the imagination of his own heart, which is evil, no evil shall come upon you. For who have stood in the counsel of Yahweh, and have perceived and heard his words? A man, all of us have the ability to be evil. All of us. And when we depart away from Yahweh's instructions and from his counsel, we want to be evil. We're going to be evil. But we don't want to call it that, a lot of us. But that's what's going to happen. For who have stood in the counsel of Yahweh, and have perceived and heard the word? Who have marked his word and heard it? Behold, a whirlwind of Yahweh is gone forth as fury, even a grievous whirlwind, it shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. What is a whirlwind? What is whirlwind to wheat? Wheat is alive, whirlwind is dead. And then what's the fire for? What's the fire for? The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he execute, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart in the last days. You shall consider it perfectly. So you're going to consider the anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have executed, and until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the last days you shall consider it perfectly. This is what the prophet is talking about inside of these verses right here. He talking about the last days. Woe be unto the pastors, to the ra'ah, to the seers, to the shepherds that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. That's Yasharal, of my pasture, said Yahweh. Therefore, thus said Yahweh Alahayim of Yasharal, against the pastors that feed my people, that teach my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away. and have not visited. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Elohim. And against the pastors that feed my people, you have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, said Yahweh, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of the countries whither I have driven them. It shall no more be said, blessed is Yahweh that delivered us out of Kemet, that delivered us out of Masrim. But it shall be said in the last day, blessed, let me let it play for you, and then I'm finna get off here. And I didn't know that it wasn't playing. Shalom, Sister Naomi. Peace and blessings to you, sister. I didn't know it wasn't playing earlier, sister, and I was just going on and on and on, reading the Bible and teaching. But right here, he say, therefore, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh live, which brought up the children of Yasharal out of Kemet, out of Masriam, but out of Africa, out of Masriam. Because I heard somebody say, one leader say, or whoever he called himself that he leading, say that when it say Egypt, it don't mean what we saying it mean the land of Egypt. Well, if he say gather the people, what did it say? Therefore, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that they shall no more say, no more means no more. Say, even though we gonna say it, but this right here is not what this prophecy is about the land of Egypt over there in Africa. No, it's not about that right there. But he said Yahweh, that they shall no more say, no more. Yahweh live, which brought up the children of Yasharal out of Masriam. Where that said? In Africa. In East Africa. But this is not what he talking about. This Masriam that he talking about in the last day is not talking about the Masriam in Africa, because he said we shall that's not what this prophecy is about. But Yahweh live, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Yasharal out of the north country. Out of the north country. What's the north country? And from all countries, whether I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. This is the prophecy of us being scattered. And as I was trying to show y'all what it was muted, that a lot of us don't understand probably, that Yahushua said that it shall be likened unto Sodom and Gomorrah when he returned. He said Sodom and Gomorrah gonna have more mercy than this generation. Look at it right here. Yasharal is seen as Sodom and Gomorrah. Look at this right here. This is Sodom, Sodomite, Amorah. This is Sodom and Gomorrah practices here, where they get the word Sodomite. And look at what the people who is the leaders is pushing. While our people is getting slaughtered, divorces going on everywhere, mass incarceration and all that right there, appropriation of culture, appropriation of money, gotta bury your loved ones, but you can't even afford to buy a grape out the store. You're going through so much. Me and my wife was homeless in 2017, family. We had bought our place. We started purchasing our place in this same year, but we had just came from being homeless in 2017, and we started paying on our building. We had an LLC, and we started paying on our building until we paid it off, and we lost that building. And no NAACP did not ride for us like they was riding for the LGBTQ. So when they say they call they brothers and sisters, these is they brothers and sisters right here, not us. And I'm finna prove it to you. They say that this is they brothers and sisters, not the ones that was getting slaughtered in the street, not the ones that's mass incarcerated, not the ones that's last hired and first fired, not the ones that's the most homeless people in this country. No, they didn't call them their brothers and sisters. Let's go up here and they say, we pledge today to stand with our transgender that say that's they brothers and sisters and you ain't it. So their family was the LGBTQ. So cause while our people was getting slaughtered in the street, they was going in for the LGBTQ community plus. But they weren't going in like that for y'all. They didn't get no bill passed for y'all. They didn't give y'all nothing but a promise and some symbolism. All right. But for the LGBTQ and them, they gave them money. They had gave them some type of protection and stuff so that they could practice they beliefs that they made and to try to put it inside of you, just like what a lot of us was arguing about the Essence Fest. I want to give a shout out to Brother Said Jahi and Brother Phil. They've been putting in work on that topic right there about the Essence Fest. This is nothing. This is no shade at our brother and sister. But this right here need to be straightened out right here, because this can't keep going on. This infiltration of people's livelihood and then bring in all this other stuff. No, this got to stop right here. If they was doing this to our brothers in Haiti, I wouldn't stand with this. If they was doing this to our brothers and sisters in Jamaica or in the Caribbeans or in Africa or in Europe or wherever they at, even if they was on some remote island, holding up their camera and say, look, brother and sister, look at what they doing to us. I wouldn't stand on the side of that right there. I would not divorce my brother and sister and reject Yahweh. That's what the Apostle Paul was talking about in the book of Romans when he said people did not reverence Yah as Yah, so he gave them over to their own passions, that they go on and be man with man and woman with woman, practicing those things which is shameful. And their mind got reprobated because they rejected who Yahweh was, and they went on. So we was teaching Revelations chapter 1, teaching who Yahweh was, and all the while we was learning and teaching in 2017 and on up, this was what they was doing. This show you, they say that they love Paul the apostle, and Paul the apostle said when people reject Yahweh for who he is and they reject him, this is what they go into: lesbianism, this stuff right here, man laying with a man as if he lay with a woman, woman laying with a woman as if she laying with a man. That's what the apostle Paul taught. But people hold up Paul and say, hey, Paul justified what we doing, but they don't understand what Paul's saying, because if they understood what the apostle Sha'awal was really saying, then they wouldn't use what Sha'awal was saying. They wouldn't twist his words to their own error. Let's go back down here. He say right here, I have seen also the prophets of Yerushalayim, a horrible thing. They have committed adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of the evildoers. They strengthen the hands of people that's doing stuff that Yahweh deem as evil. I will feed them with wormwood and make them to drink the water of gall. For from the prophets of Yerushalayim is profaneness gone forth into the land. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, hearken, don't listen unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. These is the people that said this was their goals that they had set. Inclusion. And they say, thus said Yahweh of hosts, hearken, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. He said they make you worthless, useless. They speak a vision of their own heart. This is their vision, not Yahweh's vision. This is not what Yahweh wanted for us. He told us in Deuteronomy not to practice that right there. But he said right here, thus said Yahweh of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets of this prophecy that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart. Look at this right here. Verse 14 say, I have seen also the prophets of Yerushalayim, and horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of the evildoers, that none doth return from their wickedness. So they strengthen the hands of the wicked, people that was doing stuff that he said is wicked. He called that an abomination. They are all of them unto me as Sodom. They acting like Sodom and the inhabitants of Gomorrah. So what did Yahushua say about the last day? He said, in the last day they shall be likened unto Sodom and Gomorrah. Who is he talking about? And who is pushing this Sodom and Gomorrah stuff right here? Who is the leader of this Sodom and Gomorrah movement? See, a lot of them have eyes to see, but they can't see. They got ears to hear, but they can't understand. They got eyes, but they can't see what this mean. They got ears, but they can't hear what this mean. It doesn't mean that they deaf in their natural ears. It doesn't mean that they blind in their natural eyes. It means that they got eyes, but they don't have spiritual discernment. They don't have discernment in this. They don't discern what we talking about. They don't discern what the prophets is talking about in the last day. All right. So this right here is not Yahweh's will for us right here. So if he hear this, he was the president of this movement right here. Who is Derek Johnson? Let's go over here and see. Who is Derek Johnson? Look at this right here. Derek Johnson is a prominent figure known for two distinct roles. One as the look, when we do something, you know, even if you say I want to apologize and repent, it's up there. It's up there. So even if you repent, you're gonna have to go 7 times harder, bruh, and rectify this right here, because this ain't right. And you know that we weren't raised like this. Mr. Derek Johnson, this got to stop, bruh. It's a lot of this that can't work, bruh. Let's get this together now. Look, Derek Johnson is a prominent figure known for two distinct roles. One as the current president and CEO of the NAACP, and other as a former professional American football linebacker. Bruh, you done did all this hard work and did all these accomplishments, and you mean to tell me you're going to taint your own legacy? Let's go and look at his legacy that he's allowing himself to taint. Bruh, this ain't right, man. You know we weren't raised like that. You paid for Kansas City Chiefs. You know how many children that was in school that wish they could have made it to the major leagues and played for those teams? Y'all see this? So it show you that you can have the success of this world, but without y'all, you ain't nothing. Y'all, this is not y'all's plan, bro. And looking at you, your ancestors done been through enough. Derek O'Hara Johnson, born November the 22, 1982. Bro, you 2 years older than me. So I know you, if you was born in America, that you know that we weren't raised like that. Is an American former professional football player who was a linebacker in the National Football League, NFL. He played college football for Texas Longhorns, twice earning consensus All-American honors. He was selected by Kansas City Chiefs in the first round of 2005 NFL. So how many of our people get inside of the league and stuff, and we come into funds, and the ones of us that don't make it into the league and stuff don't come into funds? The only thing we can do is try to penny scrape and scratch up stuff because we really want to help the people. Let me look up places that really help. Wait a minute. How much is rent? Is rent. In Kansas. For married couples. Thank you, brother. No sound. Thank you so much, man. Last time I was up here and I was going on for hours. Thank you so much, bro. I think they mute my mic because I don't remember muting it. But anyway, all I was saying is that all this stuff going up, rent is sky high and everything. And all they care about is LGBTQ. Rent is so high in every state. Nobody is getting no supplemental income like they say. Nobody that's even disabled is getting supplemental income like that. You know, when we pay for where we stay, we pay over that, and we got to come up with the money some kind of way. We got to, and then, you know, I was with a program and I was working with the people and they suspended me because I was sick. You know what I mean? I was trying to get up. I had a scheduled job. So when you on this program, if you late, then they can cut your hours and stuff. You know what I mean? Or they can suspend you, right? So what I did is I was sick, you know, and I didn't want to go there and I can't move. I really couldn't move. And I tried to take the day off, but I had scheduled jobs ahead. So what they did is they started cutting my stuff, and then they brought it down to like 40% as reliable. And then they went ahead and so every time they say you suspended, then they'll take me out of suspension. And because that hours that the thing that they put up, they'll say that I'm not a reliable person because I was sick, and nobody don't want nobody sick to go to work, right? Would you think? And when I wanted to go to work, they kept cutting the hours, and they kept putting me in suspension so I couldn't get the job. You know what I mean? And so now they just canceled out all of my hard work and everything that I did with that company and put me down to zero. So now I can't even work with them no more. So I just went ahead and deleted my account with them. And I'm just praying for another way because, you know, they cutting income as if stuff is more affordable in this country. So if you was on disability because you're disabled, you know, they cut your income down so far to $100, $150, and you gotta come up with at least $10,000 or $18,000 or $8,000 a month just to have a place to stay now. You know, and that's why I knew that something like this was gonna come. And so I was trying to purchase and buy that house. And a new landlord came in, like I told y'all before, and ripped us off our property. And I shared with one of the family members the proof that we paid for that. And if I can, I'm gonna scratch out information like my name and stuff, and I want to post up the receipts like I told y'all before, and let y'all see that we really did pay all of that stuff that they said that we didn't pay, you know. So they said that we was late for July, and then we lost our place that we actually purchased, and they tried to put somebody else in our building, and they still charging us for rent for the building that we already purchased and bought for. They still charging us. It's still being charged on the website right now, and we are being evicted out of our own purchased building because they want us to pay for it. So it's strange. And so all this going on, then now we got to pay all this outrageous stuff. They cutting people's income down and all type of stuff. And then you got people that's trying to hurt people's businesses online. You got the Essence Fest situation going on with the Essence Fest. You got people co-opting people's life and story, and they trying to tell it, and they getting paid. They getting all of the people to come over and support them and their businesses and stuff. You know what I mean? Everybody, if you open up a shoe store, you ain't open up the shoes just to look at the shoes. You open up the shoe store so that people can come in the store and buy the shoes out of the store. But people they try to make you feel guilty and say clout chasing when you trying to sell your products. If a sister is selling hair, she wants you to buy the hair. And if you don't buy the hair, how she gonna pay her bills? So it's a problem going on around here. And like I told y'all before, I do not believe that Offset and Cardi B made that song about clout and it meant what people made it out to be. I think they made it out to be that. And so since it was getting good publicity and everything, that's what everybody went with. And so they used it and they made their money. And even if they tried to tell people, hey, that ain't what the song meant, they still went with it. So they could come out and tell everybody right now, hey, go back and listen to the song again and listen to what really was being said. But people is stuck in their ways. We're going to go ahead and run with what we think it meant. Or if I come on here and I try to encourage brothers and sisters not to take out themselves or don't give up on their life, people is able to switch up words and make it something else that is not. And make people make other people think that you're saying something that you're not really saying. And so that's what I've been trying to address, fam. It's a lot of co-opting going on around here. And that the scripture that I was reading to y'all of Jeremiah is actually talking about the last day. He said, in the last day we shall be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Messiah prophesied that. He said, in the last day it shall be likened unto Sodom and Gomorrah. Who was he talking about? Because we just read in Jeremiah that it said that that Jerusalem would be called Sodom and Gomorrah. So that's the issue. We need to take this stuff serious. It's in the book. All them other people, they wrote up stuff. That's who they work for. Mr. Derek Johnson and all them. Derek Johnson is 2 years older than me. So I know goodness well he know that we wasn't raised up to be homo and all that right there. So that's just something that he wanted to do with his success. But there's a lot of brothers and sisters that played football that they just couldn't get inside of the same, couldn't get drafted on Kansas City. He wanted okay. He probably was a good linebacker, but he is not. Oh boy. Let me see. I think my mic making noise. Okay. Derek Johnson is not the best football player of Negroes of that age bracket. Y'all, he's not the best. He was just a good football player. Not saying that he wasn't good. I'm saying he wasn't the best. But they had to choose one out of the best. They had to choose a best out of the best. So everybody didn't make it into the major leagues. But the ones that did, that's why it's a battle to get in. That's why it's a battle to make the money. Because when you make the money, you'll be able to help people. But when you don't have control over your career where you can make the money, then other people that gonna ride for LGBTQ and everything, that's what you got. So I heard that Mr. Suge Knight opened up a new record company. And I heard somebody online downcasting that right there. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like what do we want? What do we want? Oh my goodness. But anyway, any publicity is publicity, I guess. So, hey, I'm not condoning people ragging on people and doing all that, but if that's how people get down, that's how they get down. But anyway, I'm finna leave it at this, family. I'm sorry that y'all didn't hear the audio, and I've been having issues with this thing. I did not, and I don't recall pressing mute. I thought I unmuted it, and I was going and teaching. But I'm finna get off of here, and I hope that y'all got something out of this. I go through and erase the parts that my audio was muted on. And I just want to thank y'all for coming, and just want to say shalom. Enjoy the outro. Thank y'all for coming. If all I could do is let the scripture read for y'all the intro, I'll do that. Shalom, fam. Thank y'all for coming.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers, and our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We are drunk in our water for money, and our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given our hand to the Masrayam and to the Assyrian to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have seen and are not, and we are born their